What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what you need to do in order to qualify for FNCS. Make sure to stick around as I'll be revealing strategies that most pros don't want to publicly share, and also make sure to check out my new second channel linked in the description where I'll be uploading daily. Thanks, guys. Hopping into it, this is day 1 of FNCS. Within this, you need to be top 2,000 in order to qualify for the next session. What we're going to be starting off with here is just our W key game. I'll be giving a little run through on what to do in this game and what to look for, and well, let's figure it out. This is game 1. In a lot of these tournaments, I play with Aviv. He's my duo for FNCS, and we usually land Snooty or another drop spot that's unnamed. In this situation, we decided to land middle map because we thought it'd be easier to get around and, make it to more people, as we're landing on edge would be a lot worse because I'm not gonna find as many people. All right, so in game 1, we decided to land on a medallion POI, as I suggest a lot of you should do in your first game. Getting a medallion as well as the Volt and a mythic weapon are super beneficial in your key games, and they just allow you to get a lot more kills. So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. So we actually ended up landing center zone, but we weren't able to find as many people as we wanted to. I'm not sure if this is because a lot of the first game players were scared to land on medallion POIs. Looking at this next time, we'll probably just land Snooty or whatever is hot drop maybe. So Aviv takes out this duo here. At this point, our pacing feels a little bit off. We're kind of used to getting a lot more kills at this point of the game than what we have been. Aviv gets these kills, and then we decide to start split keying. So Aviv actually dies here. You guys know me. I'm able to clutch up. This guy's 70. The best thing in a 2v1 is to try to isolate them. So I isolate this guy, box him. Then takes me a little while to kill this guy, but we do. All right, so we get that kill. So at this point, we decide to start split keying. I key this team here. And yeah, so we kill him too. So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, kind of towards the end of this, because as a key game, everybody kind of knows, what to do. You really just have to run at players and just play confident. Right here, I hit a max. Right here, I jump in on this guy, get the kill on him. And we're both just trying to get all the kills at the end because that's the most important. A lot of people end up dying out earlier in the first games because they usually die to zone. That's the one thing I've noticed. A lot of players end up just dying to zone, so you need to get the kills while you can. And it takes me a while to kill this guy, but we eventually do. Get this kill to zone, up down, on this guy. Back him. And we get the final kill. So this ends up becoming a 40 kill win. But I guess the major takeaways from your W key game is just try to land on a medallion POI in this season, and make sure you have mobility, and then just rush as many players as you can and try to kill them without getting knocked or rebooted. So it's pretty simple. A lot of you know, it's just kind of skill at the end of the day, how you got to run through players. But yeah, you guys can see right here, we have 223 points, 4 matches left with an hour 20. This honestly isn't good for opens, because the worst thing to do in opens is run out of games. If you play all your games out, you play every end game, you're going to qualify no matter what. As long as you have a good W key game, that's the most important. Right here, we're just, trying to finally get one good game. We stop landing Snooty. We end up keying other teams, and it benefits us. We start getting some momentum going. We get a few kills. I'm gonna skip to the end game here to show you guys how we play the end game. Make it into end zone, and this is just kind of like any other end game that we would play, but we're going into it with stacked loot because we end up getting a kill. I can show you guys how I got that kill right here. See this guy get in as a solo, hit him 100. Spray in with the crazy AR, get the kill. And what we end up doing here, we go dead side. I'm just pumping people for fun because we have crazy good loot. But Aviv ends up ramping up for height on first moving dead side, and we knew that height was on the right side of zone and they were staggered because they were fighting, so we end up going up on the left and building up. So I get chopped, I get hit 1 HP, I waste my big pot because of the new way healing works, and I pretty much just tell Aviv, yo, we gotta chill, we just gotta play mid ground. So Aviv ends up getting a kill here. We get a med kit. I end up popping the med kit. There's a shield fish as well. A guy tries jumping in, Aviv holds it. I don't cancel my med kit because I'm confident Aviv will know that. Yeah, in end games, I mean, it's very important to know your play style. I've always been a very good mid-ground player, figuring out the different layers, figuring out how to navigate and get up and work our way down. But right here, you see I go on the backside of zone, and we're tarping under height because height went in the middle, and we end up just flanking height. That was a misplay on height's end. And pretty much from here on out, we just sit on height, and we just AR people the entire time. So I'm going to skip ahead to the ending. We actually dropped down because we were playing too confident, and this duo ends up being stacked. I solo clutch a little bit here. I get a kill and end up getting the top 2, pop my med kit. But, you know, we just made the mistake of playing too confident because, once again, it's opens, and we're just going for as many kills and as much stuff as possible. So honestly, that's kind of that from opens. We qualified here already. I'm gonna go check the Fortnite tracker actually, just to see what you guys probably will need within this next week to qualify. For session 1, it was 340 points for top 2,000. So the key takeaways from the first qualifier, I think, is just play confident. Realize that a lot of these players you are going against are people that can just publicly queue up without practice, and they can just do whatever. But once you get into those higher elo lobbies, it's important to kind of start slowing down a little bit if you're not the best W keyer, and just trying to play your end games out. This is game 1 of top 1,000 to qualify, and within this session, all the players are top 2,000. So for me, I'm still a good W keyer, so I'm going to try and get a really good first game still. You're going to want to get eliminations in your first game for your best chance of qualifying. We're still going to land medallion POI in this because we're confident, and this is, you know, this is still a session where we feel we can keep people and we can get good loot. So we're going to land Snooty. This is the first fight we end up taking. We run at these players here. I get a wall, hit them 100. You're seeing I'm not just jumping in. I'm playing it smart because these players aren't horrible. So I get that guy weak, and I realize, you know, he kills one, so I just jump in right here. 100, and Vive cleans him up. So we're still W king a lot, and if you guys do adapt this playstyle, one thing you can do that I can give you some advice on is to not fight in center zone in these types of lobbies. That's just how you're going to get griefed and sprayed at. As you guys can see, we're on one of the bottom edges of the map, even near the water, so there can't really be people behind us. So we're just trying to fight people on the back edges of zone instead of the center and getting ourselves griefed. So first moving pools, we decide to instantly go and try to build up on height because grapplers are such a good rotational item. So we go directly towards zone. We build up with metal so we're connected. This is honestly the playstyle of even I like best and what we do the most that works for us. We play height a lot and it ends up working really well. So first moving isn't guaranteed from here, but if you are to play center zone of this half and establish it really well, if zone does pull to the left or to the right, more than likely you can just tarp over it because you have high ground over everybody, right? My mindset here, it's not to double grapple front and build up, which we could have done, but we're high enough to the point where if a team does try to do that right now, we can pressure them and spray them, and we have enough, you know, mats and builds where we went over. So this team's getting ahead. We shoot at the people that are getting ahead instead of looking back. I just end up tarping up. And remember, you can play as high as you want because you have grapplers. So I'm just playing it safe here. I'm getting over front zone. I'm reinforcing a lot. We're investing more mats early in order to hold height and probably get a kill from it. So we just end up doing that the entire time, connecting to builds. And we still have good mats because we went into the end game killing people and getting materials. But if we were to go into end game with no mats, we probably couldn't do this. And it's always important to spray second height. When you guys start running out of materials in a situation on height, it's always good to ride their builds and smack on their roofs. Just try to get them to drop at all costs, right? So right here, I'm just dropping down and getting kills because I have a grappler and a med kit, and I'm pretty confident in my abilities. So I kind of know that I'll be able to get out of here. Right here, we go for a double edit. 100 on this guy. Ended up blanking him, actually. So I was hitting a lot of blanks within this stream. I don't know how or why. And there we go. So that's just a perfectly executed height game. Honestly, the biggest takeaway from session 2 is to just realize that there's a lot of players that aren't as skilled as you in here, and they're very nervous as well. So as long as you play your first game confidently, get a few kills going into the end game. Don't play your first game out and have 0 kills and try to go for the win. Try to get a few kills, try to get into endgame with stacked loot, and try to play height and try to win that first game. You most likely will qualify. This next session here, session 3, this is the more challenging one for a lot of people. I know a lot of people probably watching these videos are able to get into this top 1,000 category, but after the top 1,000 is top 250. Now, this is the session where you see a lot of pros qualifying for it, even some not qualifying. So I'm going to give a rundown on kind of what to expect and what we do in order to qualify in this session. First game of all these tourneys, we do like landing at medallion drop spots that have the mythic weapon and the medallion, because what's the point of not taking a risk? In these 10 game formats, you don't even end up playing all your games. And even if you do die off spawn, you can have about 3 or 4 deaths off spawn, and if you play your other 6 out, you can qualify as long as you don't get top 20s every time. We land medallion. We don't even get contested in this first game. We do still try to W key. We see people run away early, and we realize that at the beginning of tournaments, a lot of people are nervous. So we're going to be running at this team here. So I hit this guy 100, and this is kind of like an off spawn fight, so I kind of know that this guy doesn't have much loot. So running him, we get his wall, drop in, Aviv gets the kill. His teammate ran away. We're sitting around, we're kind of camping the card, and we see him grapple, so we know he's here. Drop down on him, clean that kill up. But yeah, we're still playing confidently. I'm running at a full duo here. Look at this. This is the top 1000 session, and just look how I'm just running at them. The guy's playing like he's AFK, and this is the solo that ran away. So as you guys see, we're still just running at all these players the same as we were in the first session. Obviously, if you know there's pros in your game and you see them in the kill feed, you can use that to your advantage and not key the pros. We don't even do that sometimes. If we see pros in the kill feed, we'll avoid them because we know they can grief our game and mess us up. It's always important to read the kill feed as well, and always to acknowledge how many solos are alive. Like in this situation, we saw that they were keying a solo, so we're applying that pressure, taking the wall. Easy kills. The snipers are really important as well because you're able to snipe at people from such a far distance and then grapple on them, and more than likely they're going to be healing like that, and you can just catch them off guard. And then their teammate tries to run away, you fry him and just keep on grappling. Face his teammate, get that kill as well. Trying to adapt this playstyle and trying to learn it's really important for qualifiers. Getting those extra 30 points off elims every single game just goes such a long way in qualifying. What I recommend for you guys watching is to try to go for at least 4 kills before you go into your end game, and make sure when you go into your end games you're always stacked. We were trying to key more people and it actually didn't work out. And this loot that we found right here, we got this out of people that died out of the air to another team. So we were shambles going into this end game because we overkeyed, so we probably should have chilled out the zone before this. So right here, this guy's pressuring. Headshot snipe, right? Snipers are so good, you can just use them to your advantage in every situation. This is the 3rd session, so you need top 250 to qualify, and these lobbies still aren't the worst, but you can key. But you guys will notice right here, you still can't get away with some things that you think you can. Try to grapple up the hill, and my teammate actually ends up dying, so that's like a first game little mistake. We try to go in late and we kind of get sprayed a lot. You know, you guys can even learn from solo clutches here. You have to go with the pack, that's one thing. So right here, I'm grappling with the pack, and I try to catch one off guard. So I catch this guy. This is the guy that killed Aviv. He got all his loot, so I know he was stacked. So now I'm just getting in late and just using my grappler. And I honestly land in a very bad spot. I go dead center low ground, so I need to instantly get up. That's what I realized. I picked a horrible layer to land on. I thought there were going to be builds I could connect to or something. The best advice I can give is to acknowledge where height's at and try to follow under height. I'm not sure how well I apply that in this game, but you never want to go early because teams can usually see you and fry you. I see heights fighting here, so I know it's going to be a little bit easier to, you know, grapple under them and do things. Also, going low ground isn't too bad on first moving because a lot of people are grappling to the fronts of zones and they're going to play above people. So as people stack on top, the lower layers are going to be free. So I'm able to just walk in here for free. Only issue with this in a solo clutch is this team right here. You know, they easily could have just jumped in on me on low because they see I'm a solo, but they weren't looking. So zone ends up pulling back, and when you see zone pulling back into congested builds, it's usually good to try to get up a few layers and, you know, just get off where everybody's going to come down. I go up a few layers. I'm trying to look for a kill here. I almost get that guy. He mantles and gets out of it. He got lucky. So I'm going to pop fizz again. I'm going to try to get out of here. I'm getting stuck by these trees, though. I use a tree to grapple. It's kind of bad, so I have to build mats. And you guys will see here something really funny actually happens. So, you know, I'm playing zone with this because I'm running out of mats. This guy's just frozen, right? Boom, frozen. 500, 300 brick, 100 metal. So I'm stacked after that. I just tarp in the zone. I play my med kit. I don't know what that was about. This is final zone, and in final zone, if you're a duo, it's most important to establish a layer. But because I'm not a duo, I'm gonna play mid ground, and I'm just gonna try to live as long as I can. My teammate's calling out that there's a lot of solos alive still, so I'm still trying to get my own layer, and I'm trying to look for kills at the same time because I know there's solos. Right here, I look down. I know this guy's a solo just the way he's acting, and he's in wood. I get all of his mats. I play mid ground, and as a win condition, medkits are super important. And I have one medkit here, so I realize I can play it. And in this situation, it's a 2v2v1. The other two players died somehow to zone because they, I don't know. Hit this guy 20 white because I played zone. He ran out of mats. I run in, 100. There's the solo clutch win from first moving. So game one of every single qualifier you're going to play, besides the top 251, you're going to want a W key. You're going to want to land at a good drop spot with a medallion, with a mythic item. Try these things, try to apply them into your qualifiers and see how they go. So I'm just going to watch one game from my finals. So moving on to the final day of FNCS qualifiers. This is the session 4. This is where you need to place the best out of the 250 teams. One of the final just, piece of advices that I have that you guys maybe can apply to your gameplay is look at every single time you die and write down why you died. Every single time, if you're doing that, you're gonna improve. I do it mentally every time I die. I think, why did I die? What did I just do wrong? What is the solution for it? So game one of the 4th session, or the last session, where you need to have the best placement within top 250 for series points. What we decide to do is not land Snooty because we know it's going to be over contested by pros and players that want medallion and good loot. So we end up going to one of the drop spots we're more confident with. Now, this can be anywhere on the map for you guys. We have a little strategy we do. We end up fighting this team. It takes a while because they're just boxed up in the house because obviously they're nervous. We've been fighting these guys for a solid 2 minutes. If you look at the map right now, you see the medallion team from fencing coming to clean us up. We didn't even realize this at the time. He gets sprayed in the side there. I jump in. I get both the kills. So we're getting clean now. This team realistically should have killed us. They didn't end up doing it though. They stopped fighting. So what we do after this, we just loot normally, and this is how maybe you guys should be playing your earlier qualifier games. Playing it a little bit slower, getting 1 to 2 team wipes, and then playing your end game out. So we're looking for as much loot as possible. Once you get comfortable with the drop spot you're landing at and the area surrounding it, you guys can kind of apply this to your play style. One of the most important things in these stacked lobbies or lobbies that you need to qualify from is getting your cash. And if you don't get your cash, somebody ends up stealing your cash, you can either decide to fight them or you can decide to look on the edge of the zone and try to find your own cash. In this session, we know the players are pretty decent, and if you fight them, they're just going to make 1,000 boxes and it's going to be a drawn out fight. Since I'm the IGL, I'm kind of just thinking of what people are doing. So right here, you see we're coming into zone late. I'm analyzing the map. I know that a lot of people are coming in around this top right side because that's the most congested. The left side of zone is more dead, so we're rotating towards the left side. And I just saw that the medallion team got in for free. So based on the mini map and their medallion moving. So what I'm thinking is, okay, we can just follow their rotate because it's probably free. Right here, we just harp in, we get on edge. We're not really prioritizing zone because of mobility. I think it's more important to play edge and hope for the gamble of zone while saving your materials instead of going center, committing all your mats, being with the rest of the groups of people, and running out of mats. So we realize, okay, we haven't done much in a while. We might need surge. We hear a team reboot behind us. This guy glides in. Aviv and I are like, okay, we have an aggressive play style. We're gonna run at this guy, right? It was only one as well, so we decide to box fight him. I get his wall, taking his top. These guys keep spraying though. Grab his wall, and we get the kill on the solo. And so you guys see right there, that damage actually ended up helping us get above Storm Surge, which we prior to wouldn't have been above. Right here, what you guys could do, you could end up going back into this dead side, which is this purple side. This is always the best area to be. We see zone pull all the way down to the dock. We know this was dead side because of what I just told you guys, meaning there's not going to be a lot of teams. So we instantly start going. We start running. This team shoots Aviv, and I fry them, and I realize that they're not closing their edits, and I'm thinking in my head, why aren't they doing this, right? You look at the top right, you see Storm Surge is active. What I think, okay, these guys need Storm Surge, so let's just key them. So Aviv's back here healing. I'm running over, I'm letting him spray. I get the wall. I go for the edit. Kill that guy. And this guy, you know, they're just panicking. Their game's over, right? Because they got no surge. We box up, we chill. We don't really look for anything here because this is the easiest way to die. You come in late, you spray people, team spray you, you get cracked, something happens. So it's always good to just be aware. Zone goes, and we instantly go with zone because it pulled once again to dead side. It pulled all the way back where nobody is at. So if we're the first ones up there, we can establish height. That's what I'm thinking. And Aviv actually ends up getting a kill, so this is a good mat refresh. Vibe and jiving, he was jumping in on us. And as you guys just remembered, I built up for height because I was the first one to get there. A guy landed on me and Aviv killed his teammate. So right here, what I'm thinking is, okay, maybe other players rotating in at this time won't realize that we gave up height, so we can probably go back up after. Zone pulls and ends up pulling back. In these situations, it's the best. All you have to think right here is, are we connected? Can we get chopped out because it pulls back? So Aviv's watching the back. I'm sitting here pre-tarping. This is where people start finally building on top of each other, piling up. So what I do, I just run over top of them, just connect. Simple. Zone plays to the right. I still hug the edge. It's always good when you're playing height to be aware of what's under you because that's what you can't see. So making sure you spray the teams under you and spray the second height teams is really important. So we look back, we're spraying the second height team. They're really not a threat. We shouldn't have looked at them here. We should be looking at this team instead because they're building with hard mats and they're sitting second height, meaning maybe they want to go for it, right? They end up fighting. We drop in. And we're stacked at this point. We're going into some of the later moving zones, so it's fine to establish a lot of mats when you're playing height. This team's full metal. What are we going to do? We're going to spray them again. We're not going to look for kills. We're going to keep trying to get these second height teams to drop and go down. These are our biggest threats at the moment, so we need to look at them, right? In this meta right now, it's heal off, so making sure you don't take a lot of zone earlier in the game and having medkits going into the late game is really important in order to win a game. So Aviv drops me the 2 floppers, and right now I'm thinking, okay, if somebody played this game perfect and they have 3 medkits, they can just sit in zone at the very end and they can play their medkits. I have 2 floppers, I'm not going to win that, right? So what I'm thinking, where are white heals near me? What is something near me that I could go to and get more white heals to possibly win? So if you remember, my cache was over here. This is the cache we stole from edge zone earlier, and zone does end up playing in the general area. So my mindset here is, okay, I'm going to use my 2 floppers to get to the cache because the cache gives medkits, right? Aviv gets a lot of the final tags for the kill points. And I try to play the zone as long as I can, and then I jump out. And right here, I try to get the final tag. So yeah, that's kind of what we do for the rest of these games. We just try to play height. I feel like I gave a lot of insight on that. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed these, little tips and other things that can maybe help you qualify for FNCS. Just remember, the most important thing is to play confident, play aggressive. Yeah, so that's about it. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe and check out my second channel. Peace.